Let's get more on this. Sinan Hatahet is a senior associate fellow at the Al-Sharq Forum, and he joins us live from Istanbul. Sinan, great to have you on. Looking to some of the comments that were made by the Russian President Vladimir Putin, he said that to end this nearly 7-year civil war, that all sides needed to compromise, including the Assad regime. In your opinion, what type of concessions could we see from Damascus?
Well, basically, it is in consideration to the national elections to be held within the timeline. Bashar al-Assad has been re-elected in 2014 for a 7-year term, which means that his presidency term should end in 2021. And most probably what he agreed to is to call for early presidential elections before the end of his term, which is in his eyes and the eyes of his supporters, a concession that he's making. Even though it is still not a concession that the opposition is asking for, what the opposition wants is actually Bashar al-Assad to step down and at least not to be present in the Syrian political life in the future.
All right. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been insisting that the PYD, the YPG, be excluded from the Syrian National Dialogue Congress. Does the future success of these dialogues or the peace talks in possibly in Geneva rest upon this?
Well, let's say it very bluntly and very honestly. If the PYD does participate, or the YPG, let's say representative participate in Geneva or in Sochi talks, there is a lot of the Syrian opposition figures, national and considered part of the mainstream opposition, that will refuse to take part in these discussions, which means that a very large spectrum of the opposition that has taken part and let's say and has actively participated in Astana talks and as well as in the Geneva talks so far were not going to be present. So it's either one of the two. This is, I think, why President Erdogan has reiterated his desire not to see the PYD on the negotiating table at the same equal foot with the rest of the opposition.
We know that Russian president also held talks with Donald Trump, with King Salman of Saudi Arabia, as well as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Explain to us how important countries like Saudi Arabia and Israel is to the outcome of the Syrian conflict.
Well, Saudi Arabia has also engaged the Syrian opposition for a long time. They have hosted also, still hosting a wide conference for the mainstream opposition in Riyadh in order to form and to establish a new delegations to represent all parties in the coming echelons of the talks. So Riyadh, in this particular context, is very important and could facilitate the consolidation of different views from the opposition. For Israel, it's a different story. Israel treats the Syrian crisis and conflict as a security concern. They have regularly intervened in the conflict to target Hezbollah and pro-Iranian militias in Syria. Today, they are still in the same position. They would like to see Iran pushed out of their shared borders with Syria and to see them abide by the international law.
All right, Al-Sharq Forum, Sinan Hatahet, thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World.